a good-looking man, and any barmaid can be a star.
Welcome to another episode of A-List Classics, where we talk about must-see movies that are the greatest films of all time. I am your host, the Game Changer, Wes Troop. And this time we are going to venture back to 1994, and we're going to talk about a film that many people think is one of the best movies from that decade. We're going to talk about The Shawshank Redemption. In 1947, banker Andy Dufresne is convicted for murdering his wife and her lover, a crime he swears he didn't commit, and is set to serve a double life sentence at the Shawshank State Penitentiary. When Andy gets to prison, he discovers it's a hopeless hotbed of violence and corruption, as the prison guards seem to have pleasure in verbally assaulting and beating down the prisoners, even leading to the death of an inmate on his first night. Andy soon befriends Red, a contraband smuggler, as well as a few other inmates after helping out the captain of the guard with a financial situation and allowing some of the other prisoners to enjoy the reward. The warden soon recruits Andy to manage his financial matters, which results in a few small perks, such as being able to improve the prison library. Over the years, the warden forces Andy to begin a money laundering scheme, and if he doesn't comply, will make Andy and his friends face the horrible consequences. The Shawshank Redemption is an amazing drama. It's based on the 1982 short story Rita Hayworth and the Shawshank Redemption, written by Stephen King. The screenplay was adapted by, and the film itself directed by, Frank Darabont in his feature film directorial debut, and he does a brilliant job here. The Shawshank Redemption was released in theaters on September 23, 1994. The film covers many important themes and messages, and surprisingly is really about hope. As awful as things get for Andy over the many years he's in Shawshank, he never gives up. We see him go through some truly devastating events, such as being sexually assaulted by a gang called the Sisters, and having to spend a cruel amount of time in solitary confinement. It's very inspiring to see Andy trying his hand at turning the violent prison into a place of learning and spending his time helping others learn and better themselves, even if he has to face the consequences for their moments of happiness. The friendship between Red and Andy spans over 20 years and has a fantastic build as the two become friendly with each other over time and then become the best of friends. We also feel for some of the prisoners, as we see a few of them are some good people who just made some seriously bad choices in their youth. We also see what it's like for some of the characters who come out of prison after serving years of time, who sadly have a very tough time coping in the real world. Even the side characters are very important and bring a ton to the film and really change the story up. The warden, who might seem like an alright at first guy, also becomes one of the most greedy and despicable villains who will make your skin crawl. It's all capped off with a spectacular and captivating ending. Phenomenal performances by the cast starring Tim Robbins as Andy Dufresne, the banker serving a double life sentence for a crime he says he didn't commit, Morgan Freeman as Ellis Boyd Red Reddington, the prisoner who knows how to get things for fellow inmates from alcohol or cigarettes to posters, Bob Gunton as Samuel Norton, the cruel and corrupt warden of the prison who uses Andy, Gil Bellows as Tommy Williams, a young convict who's serving time for burglary, and James Whitmore as Brooks Hatlin, the elderly prison librarian who's been in prison since the early 1900s. The film was nominated for 7 Academy Awards, including Best Picture, Best Actor for Morgan Freeman, Best Adapted Screenplay for Darabont, and Best Cinematography for Roger Deakins. Unfortunately, the movie came up empty-handed at the awards, as it was up against some very tough competition. The Shawshank Redemption is a marvelous, powerful, uplifting, and thought-provoking film that's one of the best of the 1990s. Alright, well that's the show. I'll be back with another classic review very soon. But until then, don't forget to subscribe right here on YouTube. youtube.com/westside515. Like the show on Facebook, facebook.com/westtroopaylist. And of course, you can follow me on the Twitter and the Instagram @WestAlist. Until next time, I'll see you at the movies. Troop out.